Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to the KubeStellar community meeting for today, Thursday, December 12th, 2024. This will be our last meeting for the year. Everybody out there, thank you for a tremendously active year and for all your contributions. And we all wish you a happy new year, and we'll see you on the other side. For today, though, we'll continue on with this meeting, give you some updates. We have some exciting news about some activity taking place in the CNCF revolving around KubeStellar. But first off, because we are part of the CNCF community, we abide by a contributor code of conduct, and I'll read it here. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We are committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, ethnicity, race, age, religion, or nationality. Basically means just please all of us being nice to each other. To join this meeting or others in the future, just go to kubestellar.io/join us, and you'll be given a link to use to, it will add calendar invites to your calendar automatically. And if you do not wish to be recorded, please leave the meeting. If you don't want to be heard, keep yourself on mute. If you don't want to be seen, just shut off your camera. All right, let's get started here. So if you've joined the meeting, if you'd like to, just please add your name to the list here. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, please raise your hand and do so at any given time. We've got an exciting day ahead of us. There is our first independent review for KubeStellar taking place on something called the ChatLoopBackOff. It's a series run by the CNCF. A gentleman by the name of Carlos Santana has agreed to review our project. It will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific. If you'd like to join, we'd love to have you there. Comments and questions and chat will be handled by our team, as well as good information being given out by Carlos. So, thank you very much for all of you that are here now. It's not been possible to get to this point without your support. Okay, so moving on, back into the code. So we have an existing bug. It's about workload object thrashing, and there's a fix in the latest 0.26.0 Alpha 1. Mike, just a quick question here. Do we anticipate Alpha 2 today, or what will this new one be called? All right, Mike, when you have a chance.
Yeah, I just took a... yes, I think Alpha 2. I'm going to start with the self-reference updates right now.
Okay, very good. 0.26.0-alpha.2 is will be prepared and released today. Okay, and we've got the workload object thrashing fix in Alpha 1 and will be carried forward to Alpha 2. Our all-in-one demo environment, with the addition of support for K3D, has been approved and merged. It's great, so we can now use it as a baseline for future demonstrations. There's still some effects that need to be done. Documentation changes forthcoming. So there's an addition of a second WDS as a result of the use of this demo script, as well as some other items that were necessary to support K3D. So those will be documented as such. Things like pre-req checks have changed a bit. We now assert that the pre-reqs will succeed, and if they don't, the script fails and allows you time to add those prerequisites. So let me just add that there. Second WDS and prereq check assertion enforcement. Let me just put enforcement. Okay. Good enough. All right. We also have a scenario script for disconnected operation, which will be probably finished by the end of the year. These are folks that are still working on it from our IFOS program. The UI, the user interface, we have a rudimentary user interface that does essentially reading of WDS, ITS, and binding policy CRs and organizing those in a table. We are looking for people to take on more functionality in the user interface in the near future. We should have a PR for this UI to be added to our repository or into a sister repository in the next week or so. The UI front end is built using technology called Vite, V-I-T-E, and we are putting together instructions on how to use that framework to continue building more functionality. Okay, we have an upgrade campaign going on. There's a bunch of dependencies that are being bumped, a new Kubernetes release that came out, and we are matching it now inside of our code line. It's given us some need to upgrade some of the dependencies that we have from our project. And so you'll see that ripple out through both the demo scripts, the pre-req check, the internal Go mod files, etc., that is associated with our project. We have been continuing work on performance testing. There's a PR that's just been introduced that adds a whole bunch of automation to our testing suite, insofar as using Ansible scripts to build out Amazon artifact or Amazon objects, such that they can handle the load for doing things that we want to do in and around performance testing. I don't see Braulio on the call here, so I won't ask him to expand on that. We have some summarization work still in progress. Combined status is completed, and we look to add more functionality for that function between the core and the WAX. There's a pull request out there, 2457. Did 2457 close yet, or are we still under the knife? Does anybody know? Let's see. I think it's still open. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, cool. So that's still underway. Okay, we just added a snapshot script that takes information from an existing KubeStellar deployment, whether it's successful or failed, and saves those logs away to a zip file, and then they can be uploaded instantly to an issue report. And I'll show you what that looks like now. We'll go to KubeStellar/KubeStellar. github.com/KubeStellar. All right, so once you're in the repo, if you click on issues and click new issue, and you're giving a bug report, you can simply run the command here, and this will output a zip file, which you can then drop into this text area, and then we'll have good information about all the different artifacts that were either attempted to install and failed or are in use, things like binding policies, ITS state, WDS state, and etc. It's good information. It helps us troubleshoot things faster, gives us a better understanding of the environment for the end user and their experience. And please, if you have any feedback or comments on that, please go ahead and add information. I think 2570 is now closed, so I'll pull that out of here after the meeting. IFOS, we're getting set up for the spring semester. There's no traction yet, no takers yet, but I'll be, actually no, we have one person who's joined from Valencia College, and I'll be reaching out to folks at Georgia Tech and RPI for the same, and we'll see if there'll be additional folks to join. Looking for anywhere between 4 and 5 folks to join. If they do see the user interface as a potential long-term project, maybe that number will be higher, and I'm looking to advertise that as a potential for us to use as part of the IFOS program. CFP for KubeCon EU has closed and so has its affiliate or or the other programs that will happen at pre-con. The program starts in London on April 1st and runs through April 4th, with pre-con just before that. Apollo submitted 2 for the main conference and 3 for the co-located events. And some of the talks submitted are from Franco, going off chart. This is talking about complexities in Helm subchart, subchart creation. I put out a CFP for fleet management with KubeStellar and the interns for open source program that we've been running here. So hopefully we'll hear back from them, I think, next month. We also put in for a Contrib Fest for KubeStellar, where we potentially could be focusing on our user interface. Presence again at the Partner Pavilion has been requested. A lightning talk if possible, and if the IBM booth is available. IBM booth apparently will not be existent at KubeCon EU, so we'll take that out of the mix. In KubeCon North America, we had a booth talk at IBM Research, and we had a lightning talk that's been posted on our KubeStellar YouTube channel. And we also had presence at the Project Pavilion, as well as CFPs, proposals or talks that were accepted. We had Braulio giving a talk on agriculture and the work that we've been doing jointly with Cornell University. So this is on digital agriculture. We also had another one on scalability testing that Braulio gave, and both of those talks are also listed on our YouTube channel, where this recording will be posted as well. All right, and this one did not occur, so let's get that out of there. Okay, the SDF program continues, software-defined farming, and we're focusing again on vineyards, orchards, and dairy cattle farms, remote processing of and use of AI models to determine things like disease that's eminent in maybe a dairy cow, or runoff of nitrates from vines used for growing apples and grapes. And so the idea here is to use satellite imagery to depict where these problems are happening, or in the case of dairy cattle or dairy cows, to use sensors that are mounted around the necks of the cows to determine how they're chewing or their rate of ingestion, etc., to determine if there's disease or sickness in the herd. So pretty interesting stuff happening. And because these farms and these areas where this detection is happening is off the grid primarily, they do have access sometimes to 3G or 4G networks, maybe even satellite or UHF communication. But for most part, they're offline. And what's good about that is KubeStellar is tolerant of disconnected operations, and it's a good fit for this use case. Okay, so that about does it. So in just summing things up, we've got Alpha 2 coming out. We've got an object thrashing fix that's available now. The UI will eventually have a PR. There's now K3D support in the demo environment. We have an implementation for the status controller, which is still underway in PR, but should close by the end of the year. We have a dependency upgrade campaign, and performance testing continues. All right, so that about does it for updates for me. Does anybody out there have anything they'd like to add? All right. Any comments or questions? All right.
I am just opening the PR for the Alpha 2 release right now.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. Yes, Franco.
I wanted to make a comment that there is also a new PR that invite people to take a look at review. It's PR 2645, which is it's a first attempt to enable the core chart to deploy in an existing OCM cluster instead of a plain cluster. So I think that could be potentially useful to know for the community.
So can you walk us through what that does and what the primary use case is for it. So you're saying an existing OCM cluster?
Yes, instead of having the ITS deployed in a plain cluster or in a new V cluster, we can install the ITS capability in an existing OCM cluster. In order to do that, so in a normal condition, the KubeStellar chart would install OCM in this cluster, expecting that it's not there. Now we're trying to introduce features where the Helm chart will be able to respect an existing OCM cluster there and therefore not overwrite it or affect it. So there are some call it architectural decisions that need to be made. So a discussion in the thread will be, for the party that may be interested, will be useful.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is great that you're looking to use an existing OCM. This will be good to link this back to folks that have an OCM estate, which is, yeah, that's exciting. All right, good. Thanks for explaining that, Franco.
Thank you.
Did I get the number right? 2645? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, cool. All right. Any other comments or questions for Franco or any and general audience? All right, folks. So again, this is an exciting day for us. ChatLoopBackOff will be hosted by Carlos Santana today, and he'll be doing a deep dive into our project, KubeStellar. We're honored to have him. It'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today, or 12 p.m. Pacific Time. I will look forward to seeing you all there, and we'll be active in the chat if you have questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.